Welcome to Unity Church of the Hills. Welcome to this fabulous Sunday morning. We're going to start our service off with our wonderful choir inspiration.
Good morning. Happy winter solstice. Yes, the turning of the wheel, the change of the season. We're stepping through that threshold together. And so many of you look so wonderful today with your jingles and your sparkles and your lights. And I'm just here to say that if you stand next to Reverend David, this sweater, So I just want to say welcome to everyone. Welcome to Unity Church of the Hills. We are so grateful to have you with us this afternoon or this morning, however you feel in your body right now. To those of you that are joining us online, welcome. We feel your light here, and we are so grateful that you chose to spend your morning or your early afternoon with us. And as we step into our time together, I just want to remind you that if you are a first-time visitor, there are QR codes on the pew in the back front in front of you. There are also contact or connection cards at the welcome table. So that QR code on the pew back in front of you is something that you can scan with your phone to connect with us. It's a way that we can stay in touch with you, get to know a little bit more about you, make sure that you're woven into all of the beautiful things happening at Unity Church of the Hills. We'd be honored to connect with you more deeply. Also, if you are a first-time newcomer, would you like to raise your hand? I welcome you to lift it high to the sky, grab some sunlight. Beautiful. Thank you. Glad to have you here today. And he wore his Christmas sweater, everybody. He did. All right, so I welcome all of us to join together in our vision statement. If you'd like, please say it with me. Centered in love and divine oneness, we transform ourselves, our community, and our world. Yes, ourselves. I was going to do that twice. I need to apparently transform myself 2 times this morning. And then our mission statement together. We put God first, celebrate life, live unity principles, and empower each other to transform our lives. And so before we step into our service, I have a few announcements that I'd like to share with you. Today, after service, the UN World Day of Meditation will be taking place in the sanctuary. Join Reverend David and our friends from the Heartfulness community as we step in together to a day of meditation for world peace. The service starts at 3:30, and you are welcome to bring a friend. Maybe go have lunch, come back if that feels good for you, and then we'll be going until about 5:30 together. Then join us for Christmas candle lighting service on December 24th, right here in the sanctuary. We'll begin at 6 p.m. There will be a light reception out in the foyer before service and after service. So if you have some cookies that you want to bring, we'll have some hot chocolate, some hot tea, some coffee. We welcome you. We welcome your friends, your family. It'll be a wonderful time. And we have a few special guests for that service. Then the following Sunday, December 28th, is Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a celebration, a time that we're going to enjoy with Elizabeth Kahora. She will be giving us some drumming lessons. She'll be teaching us a little bit about Kwanzaa. It'll be a joyful time. It's an interactive service, so please bring your friends and your children to service that day. We will not be live streaming, so the kiddos can sit up front and participate in the experience. And then after Kwanzaa, after we celebrate, we're going to dismantle this beautiful tree and put it back into its resting space until next year. So if you have an opportunity to stay and help us with that, we'd be forever grateful. And our burning bowl ceremony, December 31st, a time where you can set an intention of release so that you can welcome the new year with spaciousness and with openness. That'll be 6 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. Now together, if we could please welcome those online, welcome those who are in the sanctuary for the welcome blessing. We love you, we bless you, we welcome you, and we behold the Christ you are. This is a time where you can greet one another, say hello, namaste, hug, or a smile.
And with that same energy, let us sing our congregation song in the spirit of the festival time, Angels We Have Heard on High. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains and the mountains in reply echo back their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? Say, what may the tidings be which inspire your heavenly song? Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
If you haven't seen it yet, so we want to get over that now and as we move on into that. So I may have to take this off later because I don't think you can pay attention to what I want to say if I'm wearing this sweater. So if you're new to us, today was our ugly Christmas sweater day. So I don't always dress like this, just so you know, although I might start. I don't know if it gets that kind of reaction. It may be something to do. I don't know. But today is the last day of Advent, our last Sunday of Advent, and as we have been approaching Advent as an adventure in awakening. Adventure in awakening to that Christ consciousness, the Christ presence that is the very essence of each of us. Today we celebrate love. But I want to say a little bit about that. As Anaya said, today is winter solstice. It's about light. It's about returning of light. And so today is the last day of Hanukkah, which is also a celebration of light. The light that burned in the temple beyond the expectation. In many ways, Christmas is a celebration of light as well, the light of the Christ. There's no accident that they all sort of occur around the same time, that Christmas, December 25th, was chosen as Christmas Day. So as we celebrate light today, we do that by lighting our candles. And so Zoanna and Joel are going to be lighting our wreath today. So come on up and we will relight the candle of hope, the light of hope. And as we light that, we light that hope within us and light the hope for all of humanity, those who may be experiencing hopelessness. We light the candle for peace, the light of peace, that we shine out into the world and hold the light of peace in the world for all of us, especially for those who might be experiencing conflict or war, or those who are experiencing that in their lives right now. We hold the light and the possibility of peace. And we light the candle of joy, knowing that joy is the very essence of our being, the joy, the light of that Christ light within us as we awaken to it and align to it. And today we light the candle that represents love. I'll be talking a little bit more about love today, but love is that energy of the divine that moves and has its being, that which connects all, holds all together. And so together we hold the energy and the light of love for all of humanity, to awaken to our unity, our oneness, and the love that we share with each other. And so I would invite Joel and Zoanna to share with us today about your experience of love.
So, love. Love. In unity, love is the core divine principle, an active, unifying force, seeing the good in everyone and everything, manifesting as compassion, service, and harmony, and connecting us to God, self, others, and creation, breaking down separation to reveal our inherent oneness and the Christ within. Breaking that down a little bit more, love strengthens connections. Love aligns us with God's will, allowing divine qualities to emerge and experience God's presence. Love brings about healing and manifests good. It's about seeing beyond appearances to the divine truth. Love isn't just an emotion, but God's very nature in every person, unifying all existence, recognizing our shared spiritual essence.
Let's do you. Let's do you, man.
I gotta flip the page. So, basically, love is an action verb. The more you give out to the universe, the more you'll get back in kind, plus more. So my PS in this is that love is leaving 3 donuts at your darling's front doorstep so she can sleep in. Love is coming over to do chores and fix meals when your darling is sick with COVID. Love is taking the leap to move away from your home to South Texas because your darling wants to live by the ocean.
We stumbled across a Mother Teresa quote that is very short but very succinct. It's only 15 words, but it says, "Love is a fruit in season at all times and within reach of every hand." And breaking that down, love is always in season and never runs out. It is within reach of every hand. Love is something to be gathered through deliberate practice. And lastly, there is no limit to the amount of love one can gather or give.
Good morning, everyone. So I woke up this morning, and there's going to be a theme going on, Reverend David, obviously, about love. I wasn't prepared or wasn't planning on doing the opening prayer today, but a prayer chaplain requested it, and so I'm doing this out of love or kindness, but it's the truth. have to say, Reverend David, your sweater is quite festive. I don't know about y'all, but when I got up this morning, or even during this week, I thought, do I have an ugly sweater? Do I want to wear an ugly sweater? Will my sweater be offended if it's not an ugly sweater? I don't know about y'all, but I have those kinds of thoughts. So sometimes I am like Mary. When I read what Reverend David was going to speak about today, I thought about that I am like Mary sometimes. Sometimes I resist. Because what I'm thinking about in a situation or event, all of my wisdom just flies out and my thoughts take over. And I can't see the truth. I went to past Christmases this week. I went to memories. I went to nice moments, wonderful Christmases, and it's coming up this week. I went to, I don't have enough time. I don't know what to give. I don't have enough money. I went to all kinds of places this week with my thoughts. Some of it's been really good, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Christmas. I love the season. I love the decorating. I love all of it, but there's stress too. Whatever you've been experiencing this week going into Christmas week, honor what's true for you and notice what's been coming in from the outside and what you've been thinking about. That's what I've been doing. Prayer is a way of stepping outside of what we've been thinking about and going within. That is what prayer is for. And so I'm here to pray with you today. So let's take some breaths and enter into the sacred space of what prayer gives to us and reminds us of. We center ourselves in our seat. We breathe in. We connect from our mind to our heart. Take another breath. Be in this moment. As we come into this moment, we lessen the busyness of our mind. We open ourselves to Reverend David's message today about love. We are now ready to receive what the ending of Advent brings. We are remembering that we are the divine. We have spirit within us at all times. It is our willingness to say yes. Love is always present. And it's here for us to experience and to express in this moment. We say thank you. Thank you, Divine Spirit, for bringing us into this moment of love. And we say thank you to all who are here today, who are in our lives, and all the love that we can bring to each other in the days to come. So we breathe that in. And we say thank you for this prayer. Amen.
Love incarnate, love divine, star and angel gave the sun. Bow to babe on bended knee, the Savior of humanity. Unto us a child is born, he shall reign forevermore. Noel, Noel, come and see what God has done. Noel, Noel, the story of amazing love, the light of the world given for us. Noel. Son of God and Son of Man, there before the world began. Born to suffer, born to save, born to raise us from the grave. Christ the everlasting Lord, he shall reign forevermore. Noel, Noel, come and see what God has done. Noel, Noel, the story of amazing love, the light of the world given for us. Noel. Noel, Noel, come and see what God has done. Noel, Noel, the story of amazing love, the light of the world given for us. Noel.
Thank you, Rod and Ben, and thank you, Inspiration, for the prelude this morning. And Kim, thank you for your beautiful guidance and direction with our group. So do I need to take this off, or can you pay attention? No. So earlier this week, Monday of this week, Jay and I went to the Williamson County Tax Office. Yay, hey, woohoo! To finally get our car registered in Texas. And so we got our plates. We're official now. Official Texans. It's amazing to me, it still amazes me how Spirit shows up and how the voice of Spirit speaks through so many different ways when we pay attention. And we were standing there having a little trouble deciding and figuring out the kiosk that you sign in with. And finally, a woman came over and she was helping. I won't tell the whole story, but there was a man behind us. And we said, we just moved here from Colorado. We need to get our car registered, and we're not really sure, which ticket we need. And she was very kind. She said, "This is your ticket." And so we got a ticket and sat down. The man that was behind us came and sat down right behind us. And he said, "Well, where in Colorado did you move from?" And we told him. And he said, "Well, why did you move to Austin from Colorado?" And I said, "Well, a job." He said, "Well, what do you do?" And I said, "I'm the minister at the Unity Church of the Hills." And he said, "Well, thank you for doing that because people need Christ." And I said, "I probably know what you mean by that. I'm not quite sure, but I probably know what you mean by that." And later, I did find out that he's Southern Baptist, so I was pretty accurate about what I assumed he meant by that. And growing up Southern Baptist, I understand that there is the belief, that we celebrate Christmas as the birth of Jesus, who is the Christ, who came to save humanity from sin, and I get all that. This personal Savior, this personal salvation. And so I went from there, and of course, my mind was going, we didn't get into the theological discussion because he had a lot of other things to talk about, believe me. But it's very talkative, very nice man. And I thought about that later, and I thought, well, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Maybe people do need Christ. But from my perspective, not an individual Savior, an individual salvation, but I believe we could benefit from an understanding of a universal Christ. A universal cosmic understanding of the word Christ. And how might that transform our lives? How might that understanding of Christ inform us and transform all of humanity? What if a different understanding of humanity could Christ truly be the salvation from a belief in separation, which is really what sin is? A false understanding, a false belief of our separation and the activities and the thoughts and the actions that are born from that. That's the way we in Unity understand that word. Missing the mark. We miss the mark when we don't truly understand this word, Christ. And so I went to one of my favorite teachers about that, and that's Richard Rohr, who is a Franciscan priest based in Albuquerque. He wrote this book called The Universal Christ. And I had the privilege of meeting Father Rohr several years ago in a very intimate setting of about 12 people. And I had the opportunity to speak to him one-to-one, briefly. And I told him how much I appreciate the book and how much I thought the book was in alignment with what Unity teaches. And he said, "Yeah, I bet it is." And what I want to share with you is what he says in the very intro to the book. What if Christ is the name for the transcendent within of everything in the universe? What if Christ refers to an infinite horizon that pulls us from within and pulls us forward too. What if Christ is another name for everything in its fullness? What if Christ is another name for the immense spaciousness for all true love? What if? What if that is the Christ that people need? What if we had an understanding of that? And so I've thought about what does it mean to think of the Christ as the transcendent within of everything? What if we could see Christ as that which is beyond? And for me, it's like, what if Christ is that which is beyond my understanding? What if Christ is that which is beyond my perception with these limited senses? What if Christ is that which is born within all things? All things. What if? You know, Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, often said that the Gospel of John really should have been the first book in the Christian scripture, because it is the book about the cosmic Christ, the universal Christ. Because the very opening of the Gospel of John says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. What if? I just invite you to consider, what if? What if, as we understand God is love, God is the energy of love that imbues all things, what if we read that to say, in the beginning, Christ, the Logos, the divine idea, the divine blueprint for all that is, was with love? And what if Christ, the divine blueprint for all that is, the Logos, was love? And what if love became flesh and dwelt among us, within us? And it goes on to say, not one thing came into being except through that. What if people need that understanding of Christ? How would it change us? How would it transform us? You know, it's easy for me. It's really easy for me, as I've said many times, to walk out on this campus and see the trees and see love in flesh, to see Christ in flesh as the tree, Christ in flesh as the rock, the limestone, Christ in flesh as all that is. How would it change us? How would we really be saved if we all understood that? How would we respect the land and the animals and the earth and the sky and the air and everything. Can we imagine? Everything is the embodiment of love, of Christ. And not only that, but everyone. Not just the one we know as Jesus, but everyone is the embodiment of that love. What if we approached everyone as that? Not just Jesus Christ, but how about Cindy Christ? How about Laura Christ? How about Loretta Christ? What if? How would we respond to each other? How would we treat each other if we had that understanding? He goes on to say, what if Christ, I better go back and read it again. What if Christ refers to the infinite horizon that pulls us within and pulls us forward? What if it is that infinite horizon? What is that horizon? That which is the unknown, that which is yet to be, that which is calling us not only forward but from within. What if it is that? What is that? I was reminded of Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, who had this idea of the omega point. The omega point, which is that ultimate coming together of humanity, that ultimate awakening, that ultimate unification of what we might consider, as he was a Catholic priest, what we might consider God and humanity. But what is it, the coming together, the unification? That's what unity is about, oneness. What if Christ is that which is calling us to that, this omega point of understanding and being? And then I love what Barbara Marx Hubbard took that idea. Barbara Marx Hubbard was a futurist. And if you aren't familiar with her, she was also a vice presidential candidate at one time many years ago. But she was a futurist, and she had this idea that we were coming into a new humanity. And she called that humanity Homo Universalis. Homo Universalis, I'm sorry. The universal human. And later it became Homo Amor Universalis. The human that knows its universality, knows its oneness with all creation, and expresses love, lives love. And even the more recent philosopher, James Freke, it's F-R-E-K-E, but he pronounces it Freak. He talks about this idea of the now I've lost it. The unividual. The same idea. Calling us to awakening to God consciousness, Christ consciousness. It's pulling us forward. It's that evolutionary impulse. What if that is Christ? What if that is the essence of love? Born as this Christ within you and within me. How would that transform us? How would that transform us? How would it transform the world? How would it save us? You know, I have to believe that's where we're going. A new humanity. And all of the stuff that's going on right now are the last vestiges of whatever has been, that it needs to fall away. And those who are showing up to show us that in 4D, I don't know what it is, but showing that to us so beautifully and wonderfully and showing us what we need to let go of. Aren't they just giving us the best gift to say, yes, let's let that go so that we can rise into the Christed awareness, that omega point, that homo amor universalis, so we can be the very essence of Christ, of love in the world. Wouldn't that transform the world? Isn't that what we say we're about? Transforming ourselves and the world. And then he goes on to say, what if Christ is, and I love what he says about the immense spaciousness of all true love, and another name for everything in its fullness. The immense spaciousness. And as I think about that, I think about what is the opposite of that spaciousness? How do I not embrace that immense spaciousness of all true love? What is true love anyway? You know, if we look at the Greek, it's agape. Agape is true love. It is the very essence of selfless love. Selfless giving. Right? When I think about that, I think, what? Selfless. And that's not about giving up on you, but it's about, again, being the very essence of who we truly are. And I think the Buddhists maybe have it right when they think about non-attachment and non-judgment. And what's the other one? Non-attachment, judgment. See my brain. The nons. So can we be in that place? And I'm telling you, I'm going to sit down. I'm telling you, this is probably the most challenging for me. Because when I think about that, the immense spaciousness, allowing everything to be. Allowing everything without judgment, without attachment. Because I have a lot of judgments, and I have a lot of attachments to how I think things should be. And I have a lot of judgments about how I think others should be. And I have a lot of judgments about how I think I should be. So if Christ is that immense spaciousness of all true love, where does that start? Right here. And am I willing to truly open my heart and invite everything and everyone into my heart? I think about it as this field, this resonant field of love, this spaciousness that really has no boundaries or borders, has no limit. And even the things and the ones that I want to judge, can I breathe them in to that field of immense spaciousness where all true love is? And you know, when I think of Christ in that way, and I embrace Christ in that way, invite, as the Baptist would say, invite Christ into my heart, as this immense spaciousness, then who gets saved? Who gets freed? Me. I get freed from the judgment and the pain and the suffering that I cause myself when I judge, when I'm attached. Don't we want to be free? Don't we really want to be free? What if people truly do need Christ? What if humanity truly does need Christ, but needs a different understanding of Christ? What if Christ is that's pulling us to a new humanity from within and pulling us forward? What if Christ is the essence of everything? What if everything is the Word, the Logos, made flesh? What if everything is the Christ? And what if, as we accept that, we open up, breathe it in, everything, everything, everything and everyone. And in that way, we can truly celebrate the Christ, the Mass of the Christ, or the Christ in Mass, as we open to be it, to accept it. The Christ is born now. As you, as me, as the trees, as the rocks, as everything. And when we open our eyes to perceive beyond what our limited physical senses can perceive, we open to the experience of the Christ and the love that is the source of that divine idea. You know, Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, said, God did not create the world. God, the mind, ideated the world. What if everything is an expression of a divine idea? And all of those divine ideas are born of love. And that overarching divine idea is this thing, this idea that we call Christ. So people need Christ. We all need that Christ, I believe. Because, as Dr. King said, as we awaken to that, the end is reconciliation. The end is redemption. The end is the creation of the beloved community. It is this type of spirit and this type of love that transforms opponents into friends. It is this type of understanding goodwill that will transform the deep gloom of the old age into the exuberant gladness of the new age. It is this love which will bring about miracles in the hearts of men, the hearts of humankind. This kind of love. And we are here to bring forth that beloved community. Right? So let's take a moment, take a breath, breathe into this now moment. As you breathe into your heart space and allow yourself to move beyond what has been known, to open your deeper senses, clear seeing and clear hearing and clear sensing, to truly feel into, sense into that which is pulling you forward, within and without. That horizon is calling you to be on the forefront of that new humanity, that homo, amor, universalis, the human who lives love universally. What is calling you today in your own heart? And whether you call that the Christ, whether you call that the true light, whether you call that love, it matters not. What matters is that you listen, you follow that light within. And as you breathe into that heart space, I invite you with every breath to allow that heart to open wide, that immense spaciousness that each of us creates in our own hearts, our own minds, our own lives. The Christ has immense spaciousness of all true love. And know that it is that transcendent within of you, of those seated beside you, of even the pew that you're sitting on. It is the transcendent within of everything. As we sense into that, feel into that which is beyond form, before and beyond any form. It is the Word, the Logos, the Christ, the expression of love in flesh, in form. And we see beyond the form. We behold. Behold. And as you breathe into that, as we go into a short time of silence, I invite you to embrace that for yourself. Settle into it at maybe a deeper level than you have considered before. The Christ, born as you, And as you consider that, know that it is that Christ, that divine idea that is born of love, born from the essence of the energy, the vibration, the consciousness that we may call God or Source, or Universe. Love is its purest emanation. And as we embrace that, we embrace the truth. Christ is born of love today as you. Take a breath. Feel your feet against the floor. Feel the energy of Mother Earth. Feel the energy of love all around you. The energy of the earth is love. The energy of the air that you breathe is love. The energy of the pew that you're sitting upon is love. The energy of each other is love. The energy of the sky, the stars, the moon, the sun, the trees, the rocks. Christ is born. Christ in everything. And love is its source.
There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only
So take a breath, breathe your awareness back into this now moment. As we come together, invite Joni up to lead us in our offering.
Good afternoon now. My invitation to you this afternoon is to remain in the space that we've been in. And here at Unity Church of the Hills, if you're not familiar or if you have forgotten, we have some values. And one of those is loving. And my invitation again is to just settle in as I read what that means to us, to each other. We accept ourselves and others through the practice of forgiveness. We mindfully balance our needs with the needs of others. We serve one another in the world through compassionate action. And above all, and number one, under loving, we choose to see the Christ in all beings. And it is in that expression of love I invite you to consider in your heart what might be right for you to offer up today, or always. It might be your time, your talent, your treasure. And in the love of this place that has been here for 30 years and we anticipate and commit to having around for 30 more, my love for you invites me to be transparent with you as leader of Unity Church of the Hills at the moment. And by the way, by leader, I mean your partner in leadership, our community. And so you know, and you might have gotten the email earlier this month, I'll just let you know again if you have, that as part of our shared stewardship, we want to be transparent with you about where we are right now. And our year-end goal this year is $202,000, and to date we have received $79,000. Now, by closing this gap at the year end, it makes possible that we can demonstrate that financial stability our bank needs to see as we prepare for our future mortgage financing. And on that note, I do want to remind you that the people who came before me put something up on the wall right back here with God, all things are possible. That was not just an idea. That was a commitment and a love for the people here and the expression of the Christ within. So as we go into that, as we do our offering today, my first invitation to you is to share with me our affirmation. Centered in the one presence and one power, we give thanks for the good unfolding now. We bless our past, free ourselves in the present, and stand in the flow of divine abundance. We are a community of belonging, connection, and love. We steward our beloved Unity Church of the Hills with open hearts, wise action, and deep faith in our shared prosperity. Just take that in. And now we'll move into our offering blessing. So divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I circulate, and I am grateful.
Rejoice!
Thank you, inspiration. So join with me now as we breathe into the awareness once again of that power, presence, love, light that moves and breathes and has its being as each of us. We know that these gifts and tithes and offerings this morning are expressions of that love for this place. And we are so grateful, so blessed. We are thankful. And together let's say, we are grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. And so it is. So thank you once again for that. Our prayer chaplains today are Heidi and Michael, I think, and they will be available to pray with you after service. If those of you who are watching online would like to have prayer, know that you can call Silent Unity 24/7, and there are prayer partners there available to pray with you. So now let's say goodbye to our online participants. I did forget to mention, for those of you, it took me a while to even notice the prayer box. We do have a prayer box, which is right outside the door. If you leave.
God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.